Well, that's right. Kotak Mahindra Bank is slated to put out its Q3FY21 earnings today. Let's take a look at what the brokers have to say about what might happen here. NII 4,000 crore versus last quarter's 3,900 or last year's 3,400. So 20% YoY growth in NII and barely any sequential growth. At the profit level, brokers are expecting 2,000. That's a slight moderation from last quarter's 2,185, but again a 20% growth over last year's 1,600 crore. At the pre-provisioning profit level, we're looking at 3,000 crores. Again, a 10% moderation from last quarter's nearly 3,300 or a 20% growth over last year's 2,400. So 20%, that seems to be the number we're working with for NII and profitability growth this quarter. Now, factors to look out for. What Kotak, the most cautious bank in India, said last time around is we're now turning bullish on credit growth and we're now going to lend more aggressively. Those were the key takeaways from the con call, and that's really what led Kotak Bank to move from 1,500 to 2,000, because people realized that their conservatism is now changing towards opportunism, and they sense a big opportunity, particularly within retail credit. So keeping that in the backdrop, brokerages are saying retail loan growth specifically should pick up 5%, not YoY, but Q on Q. That means sequentially it should be quite a big jump in retail credit growth. Total credit growth as a result should also pick up because Kotak is quite heavily geared towards retail credit. Apart from that, deposit franchise is shaping up very well. It's growing very quick, so we expect a lower cost of funds. And of course, because we expect a lower cost of funds, we expect higher margins, right? So the NIMs should actually come in at around 4.6%. That's a specific quote from Nomura, but most brokers seem to think that the NIMs are heading upwards. Provisions. Now, those are going to be flat Q on Q. Kotak never had much stress to begin with. Of course, recently there has been a lot of stress within the system. RBI has flagged off warnings within even retail. So we'll see where this number winds up, the gross and net NPAs, and of course, the Proforma numbers, right? What everyone's declaring if the Supreme Court had not declared a stay on NPA declaration. So provisions 400 crore, flat Q on Q. But of course, those numbers will matter. So basically, if you sum all that up, NII should come in at around 20% growth, PPP maybe even 25-30% if it surprises on the upside. We're not expecting any major blips on the asset quality front. So gross and net NPA should come down Q on Q or at least be stable. We're definitely not expecting an increase. But management commentary on restructuring requests, if any, within the loan book will be keenly looked out for. And also which segments within retail are providing a robust lending opportunity, right? So, of course, the landscape is changing. We would like to see where Kotak Bank is focusing its credit growth ambitions and how they're really going to deliver on that front, given that they trade at such an expensive valuation. So we'll be keenly looking out for this and the management commentary, and we'll update you once the numbers are out later.